Hi, I'm Malcolm.
And I'm Rachel. We're two Canadians living on our 39-foot mainship trawler, living an adventure of a lifetime. We invite you to follow along as we travel 6,000 miles through Canadian and U.S. waterways around America's Great Loop. It's early in the morning. It's about 4:45, and we are up and preparing to head out to Cape May. This is a big journey because we're going down the Delaware Bay, and we do need to time it appropriately with the currents, the tides, and of course the winds and the water conditions. So this looks like not a bad day. We have plan A, B, C, D. We have some outs if it doesn't look good. But this is looking like an okay day to travel in terms of these conditions. And so we're going to head out along the C&D Canal, pop out at the top of Delaware Bay and head out and see how it looks. There's a marina at the end of the canal, and there are a few anchorages on the way down the bay if the conditions get worse for whatever reason. So we thought we'd head out early, and we've just been checking the commercial traffic, and it looks like most of it is done for the night. We did see quite a few go through last night. So we'll just pop out of the bay where the marina is here, and we'll see how it looks. Hope you're having a great day. So we're just approaching the last bridge along the C&D Canal. As we've gone along this morning, we've had a bit of current against us, and we knew we would. but we wanted to take advantage of the current going down Delaware Bay. So we're about to pop out there. We'll see how fast it is. I think right now it's about 3 knots of current going down. Might not be quite that when we get there, but we'll at least be able to ride some current down most of the bay. And then the tide will change, I think, around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. And then it'll switch and we'll slowly get it against us as we head down to the bottom of the bay. But this is a shipping lane, so I imagine we'll see some large ships, container ships, and it goes right out to the ocean. So the tide will be fairly strong, or the current will be strong. So let's see what it's like when we get out there. We've definitely noticed along the canal there was quite a lot of debris. Some larger floating logs, mostly smaller sticks and twigs and things like that. But if you don't know how big the log is, because it could be partially submerged, you basically just have to avoid everything. One thing we learned at the rendezvous in Norfolk was about this waterway, and just over there, you can't probably see it very well from this image, but there's a wall that's submersed underwater, and because the tide is going down, we can see the top of it now, and it's one hazard to navigation, I guess, and it's for people who maybe think they can anchor over there. They just go over when the water's higher, and they literally bump the wall and probably ruin their boat. So we knew those were on the charts. There's a couple of places where they have these submersed walls down this bay, and we think it's because they were maybe controlling the current and the runoff and the silt. So they're still there. They're very old walls, and I guess there's no point in removing them, but it is definitely a hazard to navigation having those walls right there under the water. Travel along the channel here down the Delaware Bay. On our port side is New Jersey, and on our starboard side is Delaware. So 2 more states. And we can't say, I guess, we've officially been in them until we step foot on them. So today, when we stop in Cape May, we will be in New Jersey.
Good morning. This is a report from the bridge. Another early morning on the loop. We left from Chesapeake City Marina, which is a nice marina. I would probably recommend, if you're going that route, to go a little further or to anchor in their harbor, either one. But we left this morning at around 5, just after 5 a.m. Surprisingly, there's a fair amount of light, so we didn't need to use any kind of lights or anything else. The current was pretty strong coming out of there against us. So normally we run at our regular 8 knots, and today we are struggling to make 5.8. So it was pretty hard against us, and we took about an hour and a half to get out into the Bay of Delaware Bay. We're in Delaware Bay now. We are enjoying 11 knots, and that will continue until about 10 or 11 a.m. today, and then that will start to switch. So we're hoping to get down as far as we can, because Cape May is our next destination. And Cape May is the jumping point for making your way to New York and making our way out of salt water. which is a great achievement if we can get there. So today, right now, super flat seas, which was forecasted. Apparently there's a big high pressure cell come in. It's flattened all the seas, calmed all the winds, and there's no fog, and it's just sunny. So it's a great day to be out here on Delaware Bay. No fishing boats. We hope to be in at around 1 o'clock. Probably it'll be a little later than that because the tide will turn against us. And then we'll settle in and plan our trip to New York. And that's a report from the bridge.
Delaware Bay is the estuary outlet of the Delaware River on the northeast seaboard of the United States, which lies between the states of Delaware and New Jersey. It's approximately 782 square miles or 2,000 square kilometers in area. The bay's freshwater mixes for many miles with the saltwater of the Atlantic Ocean. The shores of the bay are largely composed of salt marshes and mudflats, with only small communities inhabiting the shore of the lower bay. It is a breeding ground for many aquatic species, including horseshoe crab and oysters. We've come to the part in our journey today where we're pretty much at the widest part of Delaware Bay, and we can only just see the sides of the bay on either side. It's that far apart. And the conditions are very good. We have some very calm conditions right now, and it's at slack tide. So we're at the point where the tide is not pushing out of the bay anymore. It's going to turn around and start pushing in. So we're going to get a little slower. We've already gone down to our normal speed of about 7.5 knots, all the way down from, I think 11 knots was the highest we got to. So we expect to get much lower than 7.5 knots by the time we get in. And our charts are telling us that we'll get in about an hour and a half, but we think it'll be more like 2 hours because of the change in current. But it's been a great journey so far, and off in the distance we've seen a few ships. There's a couple actually near the mouth of the bay that are anchored. We can see them. They look tiny from here. And we've seen a few travel past us, and we will have seen 4 lighthouses along here. And the 4th one is just off to starboard. We're actually cutting in front of it and turning to port to go towards Cape May on that side. So all in all, a good journey. And once we land in Cape May, we'll be in New Jersey. Cape May is a city located at the southern tip of the Cape May Peninsula in the state of New Jersey. Located where the Delaware Bay meets the Atlantic Ocean, it is one of the country's oldest vacation resort destinations. It has a population of 2,850 and is designated an historic landmark due to its Victorian gingerbread-style architecture. So we've arrived in Cape May, New Jersey. We went a total of 64.5 nautical miles, and it took us 8 hours and 10 minutes. So good to be here, and we'll go out and explore very soon.